Momentum. Two passionate and busy moms sharing their quest to achieve entrepreneurial success.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome back
to
Momentum.
So happy to have you. Really appreciate your listenership.
Yeah, so, we're excited. We've got some momentum being built in
absolutely.
our little team of two here. We keep getting better and better every week, adding more and more content and more ways to connect with our audience.
Yes, we're working really hard on it. I'm Ariella Vaccarino.
And Teresa Ofstad.
Yes, we need to introduce ourselves and just say hello and thank you for coming on. So today we really want to talk about quite a few things. So we've got a lot of things rolling. We've got our first interview under our belt, which is amazing.
Yes.
And we have another one we're about to record in about 45 minutes. But we've been sitting and discussing something and we thought, well, let's get this on the podcast.
Yes.
We need listenership. We need to spread the word. We need to figure out how people beyond our friends are going to find out about our podcast.
Yes, and we've been doing a lot of social media posts and just trying to connect with a lot of people in different ways. One of the ways are these reels that are both on Instagram and Facebook.
Right. We talked about that I started doing that for my company, Voice Lessons to Go. And I'm starting to regularly create these 60-second reels and I'm posting them. I'm repurposing a reel and putting it on TikTok, Facebook, Reels. I'm not really using it on LinkedIn because I kind of feel like it's weird to throw singing lessons up there. But also Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter, I'm even putting it on. So I have been doing that for Voice Lessons to Go. And I think you guys may have seen, let's tell the story about how it happens.
So it's so funny. I show up last week, a week ago, something like that. And Ariella and I, we had just come out of these several days of rain and gloomy days. And it was sunny and beautiful.
It was
and
gorgeous.
We just went, I feel like going for a walk. So, and I said, I do too. Let's go for a walk. And
because my studio is, really cool, but it is kind of dark and has like a sense of a theater inside. So I wanted to get out. I wanted real light.
Yes. And she does have a lot of, artificial lighting. She's got all sorts of lighting around for videoing and for technical reasons. But we really wanted to just kind of get some of that vitamin D and embrace the sun and the environment and the trees and, the beautiful blue sky up above. So we went for a walk and we had great conversation during our walk. We, just kind of getting caught up, in our lives. And at the very tail end of the walk, Ariella says, we should do a reel. We should record and we should talk about, how you can, meet in different places, even when you're walking. And I said, that's a great idea. Let's put it on our task list for next walk. Because we were about 10 steps away from the front door.
And then I said it again. I said, no, we should really do it. We should record ourselves like a 60-second, just talk about what we're doing and throw it out there. And again, you're like, that's a great idea. Yeah. How about we do it for sure next time?
Next walk we go on. And she goes, I don't know. And both of us, I think in that moment, both of us just felt like we had to capture that moment. Yeah. And that, that's the thing, because those moments come and go. And if you put it on a to-do list for later, you won't feel the same adrenaline and boost that you get from being in that moment.
So the way I got her over the hump, I put my arm around her and I said, for example, this is what we would say. And I started talking just like what we could possibly say. We're almost at my front door. And she went, okay, let's do this.
Yes, yes. It actually did build momentum inside of me, and it gave me that boost of energy that I needed to just say, let's capture this moment right here and now. Yeah. And so we did. And, the best thing is we had a mom comment on our post that it inspired her. And that is just cool. That's exactly what we needed to move forward.
Yeah. And so the beauty of a reel, so just for you guys who are also looking to spread the word about whatever you're doing, is reels are beyond your Facebook page. Your reel, it has to be under 60 seconds, and it does have to be filmed portrait, which we didn't do. So, but we kind of worked it out. Next time we'll do it right. But is that it goes out into the real world. That sounds funny. Yeah. The real world, the world of the reels, and it just goes out, anonymously out. It goes beyond your page. And if people like it, it will have more life. So some people could go viral from a reel. That's how you see things on Facebook that you don't even know those people and you're seeing something funny. And, sometimes it'll get a couple hundred people, but even a couple hundred people seeing us walking and talking about our day, and then we put a link to Momentum in it, that helps us spread the word. So we did that. And now we want to start doing it all the time.
Yes. And we're going to next time record it correctly.
Yeah.
Although I will say, even though we recorded it in a horizontal, sideways position, there are tools that you can use to convert it, I guess is the word I'm looking for, to convert it to up and down. So it is possible, but if you record
and I had to learn that. So
yes, if we had to look it up, YouTube it.
Yeah, if you're using CapCut, which a lot of people use, I have to say it's an amazing tool for creating reels. You can look so good and not know what you're doing. But they have, if you push on the format tab at the bottom of CapCut, it offers you an option to change the format. And if you put it at 9:16, then all of a sudden you're up and down.
Right.
And so that's what I learned. But how did I learn it? I didn't know. I looked at a YouTube video and there it was. So really use YouTube to figure everything out.
Yes, absolutely. And then above and beyond that, just trying to build more awareness of our podcast.
Yeah.
Because, as we are building a community of moms out there, we want to share their message. We want to, feel the support from everybody in this community. But we also, are on the verge. We've already done one interview. We're doing another one today. We have about 70 women out of reaching out to different
we've got to really sit and
places.
strategize how we're
Yes.
going to interview all these women.
Yes, we have a lot of people who are interested in being interviewed for this, and that shows that there is something to this. And so in doing that, it also helps build your audience.
Yes.
The more you connect with other moms and other women who are building businesses, then you're able to capture those audience that they have as well. So that's another way to gain more listenership.
I think it really helps to have a real connection. So you bring on a guest and then you have a connection with that guest and then that guest tells their good friend. There's a lot of these Facebook groups that I've joined and they're great, but they might say something like, post links to your podcast now. And then, people post there's 200 links in like 5 minutes, but who's actually looking at those posts? It really is going to help to have a connection with somebody, or even a complimenting type of Facebook group, such as something for moms, and maybe they're talking about something we talked about on the show, and then we mention it in the podcast. And I never want to shove it down people's throat,
right?
But we do want to spread the word,
right? Absolutely. And I think these ladies that we have that we're going to be interviewing are all amazing, and you all need to hear their stories. But they're, that's
going to be inspiring. I'm
is.
super excited to meet all these people.
I know.
Yeah.
And some of our first few are people that I have met in the past, and that I knew, like, it just clicked in my head. We need to interview this person. And so, and mentors of mine, people that I, maybe networked with in my previous job, or different ways I've come in into their life in different ways. And the other way is by posting in some of these Facebook groups and finding out who would be interested in being on our podcast. And this is what our theme is. This is what our message is. This is who we're looking for. And so we've been able to capture a lot of interested people.
Right. It's a very cool thing. And also it spreads us out beyond Los Angeles, beyond my voice students' parents, and the people you've worked with. It just keeps putting us in new pockets of people.
Yep.
And then those are more opportunities for us to be listened to. Yeah. So part of our strategy sessions, our coffees or whatever, or walks, whatever they're going to be, is going through all of these moms. Maybe we have 3 moms or something talking about something similar, and we bring on these 3 people with their opinions on something that we're talking about, a theme for that day. Absolutely. And that's pretty exciting. So we have to sit and strategize. We've got to think about all this, and then we have to organize how we're going to get them on the show. Is it going to be video? Is it going to be audio just? And how we're going to just like edit it all together and stuff. It's a lot to do, but it's exciting.
Absolutely. And so far, everything we've done has been audio, but we're looking into video. So our first interview, we did videotape. So we have to figure out how we want to share that. We do have a YouTube page, so we can do a lot of these on YouTube. But I
don't think it's
the editing.
Yeah,
and
it's not that great.
What
film.
we want to do.
Yeah,
it's deciding how we want to present it, and if we decide to turn it into a video. So
we're still working on getting the right angles. I think that one we're going to pull excerpts of, but I'm not totally happy with how it looks yet. We are learning as we go, but I think it's going to benefit us so much to have this video so that we can then pull 60 seconds here and there and start posting reels and get people to listen.
Well, and the other thing is there are platforms that we are looking into right now that will help us with the video editing, StreamYard, and there's a whole bunch of new ones. I can't even pronounce the name. There's one that starts with an E. I can't pronounce the name.
Oh, the one that starts with an E.
But it looks like it's got a lot of great tools to help us be able to edit these videos and pull them in and be able to brand it, create some background, create different things that come into the video. So we're really excited about getting more information on that and being able to hopefully share more videos with you guys too.
Yeah, and that's a little overwhelming, just like it was with picking Podbean, who there is a link in our description today, but Podbean is how we host our podcast, but it took us forever to decide on it. We're very happy with it.
Yes.
But, we've got a lot of decisions to make in there long term, and if you do decide to pay for something, are you getting exactly what you want, or if you do the free version, there's a lot of things to decide, and this brings me to another subject which I'm kind of like haunted by, and I know I have to deal with it sooner than later, is so now we're recording so much and I'm doing so much with my voice lessons to go, and I'm getting so much onto my computer and so much onto my phone, and that's a lot. It's like at some point these items are going to fill their space, and I have to figure out, I can't even talk about it. Am I going to get a hard drive and put all this extra stuff? And once I post a video, am I still going to save it? Or once it's posted, I can erase it? And this...
It's a lot to think about. It's a lot to do. And that's why we're happy to share it with you all. Again, we're going through this journey right now. We want to take you all along with us so that you also know the ups and downs and the highs and lows and all the twists and turns to building a business.
Yeah. So that's, for me, that's something I have to figure out next, because I'm getting a lot of content and it's fantastic. But now that we decided to add video to things, all of a sudden that takes a lot of space on all my devices, right? So we got to figure that out. And I'm going to share that with you when I decide what I end up doing. It's going to be a conversation with my husband is what it's going to be. And another
I'll have to bring him onto our podcast.
Yeah, he's such a good listener. Oh, and I love him so much. But anyway, so that's so beside the point. Let's get back to another thing I have an issue with. When we're talking on this podcast, we're using Logic and we're using real microphones. Now, when I'm making reels for Voice Lessons to Go, I'm sitting at the piano, I'm using my phone. So when I'm recording, the piano is coming out pretty loud and my voice isn't as loud because I don't have a microphone at my voice. And so now I have to figure out, well, do I plug a microphone into the camera, or do I also record on Logic and then I have to sync the audio and the visual? You understand what I'm saying?
I do understand what she's saying. And but the thing is, she's so good at this.
No.
She's so technical.
No, I'm good at making the stuff. I'm not technical.
Well, but you're learning all the little pieces that you need, but you have this whole creative mind. I wouldn't even do half of what she's doing or even a quarter of what she's doing. She's amazing with all this technical stuff and getting
I'm not.
things. Yes, but getting things better and better and better, because my videos are purely on my phone. I don't have a mic. I don't have anything.
You're not a voice teacher.
I have a ring. I have a ring stand that gives me lighting and my phone. That's all I have. Yeah. And so to see all the equipment she has, she may feel like she's not, great at it, but she knows that there's all these little pieces need to come together to just build an even better quality sound and a better quality video.
If we could interview somebody who is a content creator or something, that would be amazing. Maybe they could help me with my setup. I really need someone to come in for one day and just integrate. I know I think I have almost all the tools, but I don't have it all integrated. Or I might need just one little piece to attach my phone to my really good microphones. And I also,
I was going to say, because the difference is, like she said, it's more about voice, and she has the piano, and she has all these other things that she has to consider how that's going to sound and look into the quality of the film, or, you know, the quality of the audio, whatever she's using.
Right. And that's also why I've held off with, I know this, I've been talking about it for a while, but I want to create 52 weeks to your best singing voice. But I want the sound to be good on that. So I'm really trying, you know, we have all these ideas, but I really want to get something properly launched. I know we launched this, but we also need to get listenership up. And I want to figure out these microphone problems, and I want to figure out the storage issues on my devices. And then I'm going to step into the next project, you know, because if not, everything's just going to be if everything is just starting, it's really pretty overwhelming. I need something to be humming.
Yeah.
It
is hard to keep all these balls in the air. There's a lot that both of us are doing. You know, there's a lot that I'm doing that I'm working through. I've talked about before. We've talked about on other episodes the multiple streams of revenue. We even have a little PDF for you guys to give you some ideas on that.
I love that you made that.
Yes,
See, I would never have made that.
I made that on Canva.
Oh, let's keep going with that stuff.
I'm great at creating stuff. It's taking the time and creating, you know, the content. And so there's a lot of ideas I have actually for some PDFs and some links that we can add to some of our episodes. And we may even be able to add them to past stuff. So I will start looking into that more.
Love it.
I know we talked about a few things, giving tips so we can create a little, you know, one sheet kind of thing for people to use and be able to create their day or plan their day, or, you know, kind of a checklist of things you need to do when building business, you know, all sorts of things like that. But that's all, I created that on Canva.
Yeah, and it makes us look so professional. You know, I want to ask for our listeners, you know, I have some listeners that are friends, and they will write me and say, I loved what you said on the show today. They text me personally.
Yes.
And I love that. But, you know, actually right now for building momentum, I would love if you guys took the time to comment on our posts or comment on the Apple podcast or comment on over at Podbean
or Spotify or Google.
Yes, give us likes, rate us, share us, comment. Even if you think like this is great, it's something. Just keep the conversation going. Answer our questions on our Facebook page. We're so afraid of that, right?
Yes. So if we put a question out, are people going to respond? So we really do want to build this community where we're all supporting each other. And like I said, I just got the biggest burst of energy when I saw that post from the mom who commented about our walk. You know, it was like, oh my gosh, yes,
someone's out there.
We inspired somebody today, you know, and that's what it's all about. That's why we're here. We want to share this to be able to help everybody out there.
Yeah, you may be hearing the cacophony of dogs in the background, but it's just part of the music of my household when people walk by. So we're just going to let that go for that.
Yes, and you'll see some of those posts too. We even started highlighting our co-host, Mr. Yummy Tummy, who is sitting so quietly on the couch while we're recording. But he must always be in here when we're recording.
That's so funny. I have 5 dogs, but for whatever reason, Mr. Yummy Tummy has to be in the studio. He scratches the door until we have to let him in or we'll go crazy. And it's just so funny. So and it's funny, I send them all out. They all came in and they greeted you.
They all greeted me. 5 dogs came running in to say hello when I got here.
And then I sent them all out. They all 4 went out. Mr. Yummy Tummy took his place on the couch like, oh, it's time. Yes. So, you know, there's another thing that I want to talk about that I'm also looking into is now that I'm posting all this stuff for us, it's pretty overwhelming, this hashtag business. And we'll learn with that as we go too. There's something called hashtag expert I've been hearing about. I'll have to report how that goes. But, you know, you only have so many hashtags. Some of them, like on some of the platforms, you can put a lot of different hashtags, but I don't know how many. Are they only looking at the first few? I mean, I really don't understand hashtags very well yet. I'm hashtagging everything. But it's kind of a drop in the bucket. And then some things they go, I get 800 views, and some things that get 120 views. I don't know why. I can have the same hashtags.
Yeah, I mean, the hashtags, obviously, I mean, I know a little bit about that. When you go and you hashtag something, it doesn't matter how many you have. All the hashtags you have in there go into a separate feed. And that's how somebody can pull something up. If you're on Facebook or any social media platform and you're searching something that, you know, mom life, mompreneurs, momentum.
But there's mompreneur.
hashtag.
Then there's mompreneurs.
Yes.
There's mompreneurship.
Yes.
There's mompreneur life.
Right.
And you can only pick so many. So it's like in my singing lesson one, that's ridiculous. You
Yeah.
go from singing lessons, voice lessons, vocal lessons, and then you start singing teacher. I mean, not to go on about the singing, but the singing thing is really overwhelming. And there's vocal exercises, vocal warm-ups, there's vocalises. It's like picking which ones. It's a lot.
There's hashtag Mr. Yummy Tummy.
We should start that.
We're going
Maybe
to.
that will be our
That's
success.
My point. It creates a separate feed, so
Yeah.
people will continue to see
Yeah.
a subject and a post that has to do with that thing.
Yeah.
And so that's really what hashtags are. But you're right. It's learning which ones to put in.
Yeah.
Because some people do put 20 hashtags in there, and it looks overwhelming. But guess what? They're creating all these 20 different feeds for people to be able to find them on
Yeah.
too. If somebody else is hashtagging something, because you don't own that hashtag.
Yeah.
Anybody who hashtags that is going to have a feed that there's one feed that all of those posts are going to go into. So, sometimes you have to search it ahead of time, because
For sure.
it could mean multiple things, and it may be a completely different type of post that you maybe don't want to be part of. So you kind of have to watch out for that too. Because I've seen that where I'm
Yes.
like, okay, I don't think I want to be involved in this string of messages.
Yeah.
It's a little wacky, a little crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, but the other thing that's happening beyond the hashtags is once you release it, right away it shows the numbers going up, and then there's a certain point that it just stops. You stop, you're like at 182, and you check it 5 days later, maybe you're at 184.
Yeah.
But within a few hours, you got to 182.
Yeah.
Or then, another video within like a couple hours, you're at 800 something. But then it's a certain point they give up on you.
Yeah.
They're like, that's done.
Yeah.
And so that's interesting learning about that. And then can you bring it back to life somehow? All of these things we're going to have to look at.
Right. Absolutely. Okay, well that's a lot. So let's start preparing for our interview that's coming up. And by the way, our next interview is being interviewed from Canada. So we'll be doing it by Zoom. International
interview with Teresa and Ariella
Worldwide.
on Momentum. Yeah. So we're going to do this one on Zoom.
Yes.
And we're going to do it. The two of us are going to be on one frame.
Yes.
And then
she'll be on another.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, again, that's another thing. I have a Zoom account. I did purchase whatever I purchased, premium, I guess, because there are limitations to Zoom.
Yeah.
So if you only have the free version, you can only go up to 45 minutes, I think. And you can only have a certain number of people within that meeting that you're planning. So I do have the purchased version.
Do you know how to record it and save it?
Yes.
You know how?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes, I'm good with Zoom. I've done lots of Zoom meetings in the past. So, there's ways to even save the chat. There's all sorts of things you can do with Zoom. But not that we'll be having a chat feature too much between the two videos.
Should we be chatting? Make her a little bit crazy. Be like your dress.
Yeah. No. This one will be focused on each other. I don't think we'll have much chatting features going on, but all sorts of things you can do with Zoom. Awesome. And even streaming it into other platforms, and that's where some of these video editors help as well. The StreamYard and this other one, I can't think of how to pronounce the name, but we could even go live at some point if we decide.
Well, that sounds kind of fun too. Maybe that would be a great idea. And then also we have our phones. We're going to have them set up just doing some video, just so we can pull that for reels.
Yep.
All right, we got to go. We got a lot to do.
Yep, we
Thanks
do.
so much for listening, guys. Have a great week.
See you next time.
Follow your dreams.
Momentum. Two passionate and busy moms sharing their quest to achieve entrepreneurial success.